Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Piper Jasmine, and today I decided to share with you all how I got into the University of Georgia. Go dogs! A lot of you have recently been commenting for me to do this video, so in this video I'm going to share with you guys what I did to get into UGA and that, and kind of just the whole process that it took. A quick little disclaimer is UGA is becoming more competitive, so what I did to get into the school is not like some secret formula on how you can get into the school. I don't know why I got into this school, but yeah, so please just keep in mind that what I did may not 100% lead you into getting into UGA, so please take all of this, what I'm telling you, with a grain of salt. I know some people who had higher stats than me that did not get into UGA, and I do know people with lower stats than me got into UGA. I don't have the formula, nor do I have all the answers on how to exactly get into UGA, but I am going to share with you guys what I did to get into UGA. So if you guys want to keep on watching, if you are an upcoming senior or you just want to apply to UGA later on, make sure that you keep on watching and give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe.
Cause you already know. First class, you already know.
So when it first came to my senior year, I already knew that I wanted to apply to UGA. I did a summer program the summer into my senior year. So I think when it first comes to wanting to apply to UGA, definitely make sure that UGA has something to offer you, because you don't really want to go into a school where they have nothing to offer for you. So I think that's just the first thing when it comes to applying to any college. So I personally applied to UGA on their actual website. I believe there's another site, kind of like the Common App. I can't think of the name, where you can apply, but I just applied on the actual website. And UGA has two different application types. They have early action and they have regular decisions. Early action is the non-binding one, so you have early decision and early action. I don't think UGA offers early decision, which is binding. So if you apply early decision, you have to commit to that school. They have early action, so it's non-binding. From what I can remember, because I just looked, they don't have this upcoming year's application deadline already put on the website. But from what I remember, I believe UGA's application opened September 1st, and you had until October 23rd to submit your application if you wanted to be considered for early action. Now we're gonna get into early action and what that whole process was. So you basically had a little bit over a month to fill out your application, your essays, and get all of that submitted. And I'm gonna pull up my application and I'm just gonna go through it really quick with you guys. Okay. I think it opened September 1st, but it closed October 15th. So in all honesty, it was a pretty simple application. If anything, I think people procrastinate on the essays the most. At least that's kind of what I did. But you're basically just filling out all of your information like any other, your parents' information, residency and citizenship, major selection. Mine is the College of Public Health, and I am an intended health promotion major on a pre-medicine route. Then you have your academics, and you have to list your academic courses that you're taking your senior year. So that's also why it's really important when you are going into your senior year to kind of not slack off and continue taking those rigorous courses, because UGA and other colleges are going to look at that. And then you also have to, your counselor has to upload a school report, I believe. You also have to have your recommendations. And I think that's also why it takes people a while to submit their application, because they might procrastinate on the recommendation. You want to think of the teacher who's just going to give you the best recommendation. And I also kind of did it based according to what my test scores and like what my academics look like compared to my major. So I wanted to kind of major in health promotion. Isn't really science, but like it is science, but it's not STEM. And the science was my lowest composite on my ACT. So I knew when I was applying to UGA, I didn't want them to be like, oh, like I don't really know because of her scores. So I definitely think I asked one of my science teachers. Fun fact, UGA, I'm gonna get into this a little later, but I'm gonna say right now, UGA typically, they really look at your math and English sub-scores. So my English sub-score was pretty well. So I think I asked my English teacher to write a recommendation for me. So just go ahead and have those like recommendations ready and sent out, because they send it to your teacher's email and they do the rest. So then you had to self-report your academic record, and you're simply just like putting in how many AP, IB, or dual enrollment credits you have. And another fun fact is UGA, they typically like to see students take more AP credits than compared to dual enrollment credits. In addition, when they recalculate your GPA, I believe they give you more points towards your AP credits than dual enrollment credits. And I learned this at the summer program, but there's also a website that I will talk about later in the video that the head of admissions, he will like just give you all these tips about what the admission process is like and what they're looking for. And then there's a college preparatory curriculum, and it just asks if you will have completed all your classes that is required to graduate. When you graduate, how many foreign language have you taken, the most advanced math course that you've taken. So then you also, they have your test scores as well. There are also deadlines for when your test scores are supposed to be submitted by. I personally do not remember the deadlines. They will have them on the website, so just keep up and make sure that you've sent in your test scores in a reasonable amount of time so UGA gets those scores while they're looking through your application, because you know, those test scores are important, especially when you're applying for early action, because early action is really about the numbers. They're not going to take the time to really read through all of your essay. It's really about the numbers for early action. And I'm going to pull up the early action, the stats for early action when I applied. Personally, I sent in 2 ACT test scores. One ACT, I got a 29. That was the composite, and I got a 30 on the English, 26 on the math, 36 on the reading, 25 for science reasoning, so 26 for STEM. Then before that, I took that one September 1st, and then I took one in April, before senior year, and I got a 26 as my composite, a 25 on English, 24 on math, 30 on reading, 24 on science reasoning, so I had a 24 in STEM. And I do have a video on how to get a 30 because I took it again later, but this was when I had to submit my application, so it doesn't have the other score that I sent. Then I took the SAT twice. I didn't do too good on it, but I got a 1280 total, 650 on evidence-based reading and writing section, 630 math section. The second time I took it, which was in August, I got a 1270, even though I studied a lot more for it, but it's whatever. I got a 670 evidence-based reading and writing. On the math, I got a 600. So flash forward, I took the ACT one more time, and I got a 27, but it brought my composite up to a 30. So then you had to list your school and community activities. So for me, I participate in the Hands-On Atlanta Discovery Program at Park Lane Elementary School. I was on the Student Athlete Leadership Council. I was on Student Council. I was in Beta Club. I was in HOSA, and I was on Prom Committee. And you had to list your years of participation, and you had a maximum of 200 words on the description of participation. Then you had to include athletics, and I just put varsity basketball cheerleading and JV basketball cheerleading, and it was the same thing: leadership role, years of participation, the description. And then you have work and summer activities, so I put down the UGA College of Public Health Pre-Collegiate Summer Institute, Piedmont Henry Teen Volunteer Summer Program, Georgia State University Summer Leadership Academy, and then I was a cashier at Zaxby's and a marketing aide for my grandfather. And then they have additional information such as disciplinary stuff. And then you also have to have your recommendations. Okay, so Here are my actual recommendations. I got them from my AP Physics and AP Chemistry teacher, my AP Statistics teacher, and my AP English teacher, and my AP Biology teacher. They also say that recommendations, or I don't really look at them for early action, but I was like, it doesn't hurt you to send in a recommendation, so I would just recommend going ahead and doing it, because you never know if they like pick up your application during early action and they're like, oh, okay, let's like look through her recommendation, like let's see like what these people say about her. So then you had essays. UGA, they had different essay prompts. One was like, there wasn't a different one, so it was a set one, and I don't know if it's going to change. I don't know how that works, but they do release the essay prompts kind of early, so I would look out for that. But the essay A for me was, the college admissions process can create anxiety. In an attempt to make it less stressful, please tell us an interesting or amusing story about yourself from high school years that you have not already shared in your application. So for me, I think when it comes to like this part of your application, they also say they don't like really look at essays that much, but once again, you never know if you're going to be that early action application where they decide to look at it holistically. So I would still say go ahead and put in all this effort, because if you get deferred, you can't go back and like fix your essays or anything. So really just put in the same amount of time if you were just applying regular decision or something. An embarrassing moment in high school. My old high school had this really big spiral staircase, and I wrote about how I fell down and like my crush was right there looking at me, like laughing at me if I fell, and like everybody saw it, and it was just really embarrassing. Now essay B was the ones, B had different prompts. I don't remember all of the prompts, but the prompt that I chose, it was something about a BlackBerry moment. It's really hard to explain, but it was about a BlackBerry moment. So for me, I talked about my BlackBerry moment was being able to witness a peaceful union between different cultures. In the summer of 2014, I visited 8 countries and I participated in a homestay in Frankfurt, Germany. So I wrote about what that was like, stepping out of my comfort zone and realizing how everybody in a unique way are the same but also different, and it was nice seeing 2 cultures come together, and like race wasn't an issue or anything. So that's what I wrote about for my BlackBerry moment. And then you just agree to the honor code, you select your payment method, and that's the end of your application, and you submit it. I'm going to share with you guys a website that I used during my process. So I will be putting this website in the bio, but it is called UGAadmissions.blogspot.com, and this is by Dr. Graves, I think is his name. He's like the head of admissions at UGA, and he gives you guys so much information and like deadlines and so much stuff, and he was my king. He is my king. He even has a Twitter, so I would definitely recommend following his Twitter, and I turned on the post notifications and everything. So he, like I said, he gives you so much information. He even puts in the early actions, 2019 early action decisions and data, and he does the same for regular decisions. He'll put all that on his website. So for the class of 2023, which was me, the early action academic profile, they had 16,921 total applications, 7,556 were admitted, all from 43 states. There was a 14% increase in early action applicants, more than 1,600 high schools represented. The admitted middle 50% GPA was between a 4.07 and a 4.33. Keep in mind, UGA does recalculate your GPA, so if you are in a Georgia school and like, let's say, so like for example, my school added bonus points to our grades. UGA takes away those bonus points, but they will add like an additional point or whatever, or like half a point to the AP classes. I forgot, it was something like that. But basically, they're kind of going to use your Hope GPA and add a couple points depending on the type of courses that you took. So your actual weighted GPA is probably not going to be used when UGA is recalculating your GPA. If I were you, I would kind of stick to my unweighted GPA and kind of see that instead of looking at your weighted. The middle 50% AP IB dual enrollment courses was between 7 to 12. I took 11 AP courses, so I fell within that range, and my GPA fell within that range. The admitted 50% SAT was between a 1360 and a 1490, and I also noticed that a lot of people who applied and got in early were also offered a spot into the honors college as well. My SAT scores did not fall within that range. The admitted middle 50% ACT was between a 31 and a 34. Once again, I did not fall within that range. So I actually got deferred. I found out in November. You guys can check out my college reaction video. I was honestly super sad. I think I cried, but I got deferred. So when you get deferred, being deferred is not a denial. So I was like, okay, there's some hope, because I did know some people who actually got denied instead of deferred. So when you're deferred, that just means you can update your application a little bit. If you a little like box with, I don't know, it was like maybe 500, 1,000 words or something, and you could write any updates, so like anything about your grades or any extra volunteer work, anything that you can add. I honestly don't remember what I added, and it wasn't on the application thing. I believe you had to put in a mid-year report. I don't really like a mid-year transcript or something like that. I can't remember. So when you're deferred, you're automatically put back into the regular decisions group. So I believe the regular decision deadline was January 1st. So after January 1st, you know, they start reviewing the applications more holistically compared to just looking at numbers, right? So they also have a February round. If your numbers were similar to the early action, then you actually get admitted into the February round. The February round is kind of like early action part 2 in a way. So that's why I took my ACT again, because I wanted to get admitted into the February round. I did not get admitted into the February round. I had to wait till March. So your regular decisions, it's the same application. It's literally the same application, I believe. I think it's the same application. Like I said, I didn't have to redo an application. I was just put back in the regular decisions pool, and I think regular decisions came out March 15th. And that's when I found out that I got in. So when it came for me after my deferral, it was kind of just like, okay, they're either gonna see more stuff that they liked on the application than just my numbers, or they're just not gonna think I'm a good fit for the school. So being deferred, it sucks, but it's not the worst thing, because like I said, it's not a denial. So if you apply and you get deferred, I would definitely say just keep trying. I mean, take those tests again, try to increase your scores. But there's not much you can do, because like I said, you can't go back and rewrite your essay or anything. That was like my entire life story of getting into UGA. So once you're in, you're in. But yeah, after you get in, you guys, it's seriously a breeze. I really think that UGA, like just communication wise, like talking to financial aid or my advisor, and like even orientation, they're just super nice, super welcoming, and super helpful. And at the moment, I feel like I chose a school that was good for me to go to, and I'm so thankful that I got in, because I was really scared that I wasn't going to get in, especially after getting deferred. UGA has always been my number 2. A lot of you guys know that Howard was my number 1. But yeah, and I'm really excited to go into the school year this upcoming fall. So I really hope that this video was helpful for you guys. Like I said, this is not like some cocktail of how to get into UGA. I don't really know how to get into UGA. I just happen to be one of those people. So I really hope that this video helped you guys out. If you guys have any questions about the admissions process whatsoever, I will answer them to my best capabilities. Yeah, or just any questions about my stats or anything, I'm open to. All of y'all like know my AP scores now. Like, I don't care about sharing my grades and like my GPA and my test scores. Yeah, so if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe. As always, thank you for watching.
Nice beamers, double pocket, fuck pen and meter. In your club, on your couch, just got paid to be it.